said you were gonna make a deal with your friend Jack Kennedy that if we delivered Chicago, we'd get a free ride. Now Bobby's coming after us.
There's nothing to worry about. He's just throwing out a net, Sam. It's for the small-time guys, not for you.
If that bastard comes after me or any of my people, we're gonna have a big problem. You better tell them that.
I got it.
Yes, indeed. Frank Sinatra's in a little bit of trouble.
What was that little booth he walked out of?
Explaining the booth.
Of course, you've heard about the miniseries The Kennedys. Our next guest, Serge Hood, plays the role of Sam Giancana. You saw him right now giving some heck. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Serge, nice to see you.
Tell us about Sammy G.
Sammy G. He was the
real guy,
mafia
by the way.
boss.
Yeah.
Sam Giancana, yeah. I got a call from my agent. He says, look, John Cassar, producer, director of 24, he's doing a miniseries in Toronto on the Kennedys, and they'd like to see you. So I said, well, I better start breaking out my Boston accent and take out the hairpiece and, you know, fluff it up a bit. And they said, no.
Which Kennedy am I playing?
He says, no, you're not reading for that. You're reading for Sam Giancana. And I said, Sam Giancana? I said, isn't that the guy that Bobby Kennedy had said had the face of a gargoyle and the personality of a viper? He says, yeah, you'd be perfect for that. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. So I go take a look on Google, and, you know, there's not too many pictures of Mr. Giancana.
He was
under the radar.
There's a few like this and a few like that, but, you know, it's not too many pictures. And he always had these black rimmed glasses, like, what's his name, Michael Caine. You know? And I'm thinking, where am I going to find glasses like that for the audition? I'd gone to see Avatar 2 months before. I kept the glasses. I took the 3D lenses off. I put them on. Bada bing, bada boom. Sammy G is back in town.
So for those,
and everything had such depth when he was wearing those. It was amazing.
So for those who have not heard of the miniseries, The Kennedys, it's a very interesting look at the family. Tell us a little bit about the miniseries and what it covers.
Well, they're looking at the background of how this family became a bit of a political dynasty in the States. You know, we're familiar with the story, and it's very much of a Greek tragedy when you look at it a little bit. But what's the backstory? Where did these people come from? Why were they so pushed? You know, why was there so much ambition to gain this stuff? And that's what the miniseries is mainly about. But of course, there's a lot of controversy and
well, and you know, I think like many people were you know, sort of peripherally familiar with, you know, the broad strokes of the Kennedy legacy, right? You know,
well, somebody made a comment. They said anybody who's under 40 is probably going to look at this and say, "Who are all these guys? They're all speaking like Mayor Quamby on The Simpsons." You know, right. You have to know this.
But Sam Giancana, I mean, to me, this is the most interesting and the pivotal point of this whole miniseries.
Well, I thought so too.
But it does show the time. And the context and how and some of the things that you had to do if you wanted to be an elected official in the U.S. at that time as well. Or maybe chose to.
I don't know nothing of what you're talking about, Mikey. I mean,
I don't want Sam anymore. I want Serge back.
I don't want to get in no trouble here, you know.
But Sam Giancana, I mean, he really controlled Chicago, and they needed Chicago, right?
Well, he was the mafia boss. He was the Don. He was, you know, it was his town. So.
What kind of preparation did you do to get into this role?
How much did you learn?
You know, basically, I was kind of lucky because of all the people, Sam Giancana was the one that had the most information on. I mean, the FBI has a stack of information about this high, but the public wasn't very aware of who he was. And there was a hearing on organized crime in '59. I think that's the first time they saw Sammy. And he actually showed up with a hairpiece in there. And I think that's the first time the American public got to see what the Fifth was.
Right.
When, you know, you get asked a question, he goes like, I don't remember nothing, I can't answer. And it's like, would you answer another question? Well, I don't remember nothing a whole bit. So we have that in there. Unfortunately for me, I sort of look a little bit like Sam Giancana, and I guess that worked in my favor. So I could get the look, and luckily nobody really knew what he sounded like too much. Yeah. So it was just a question of attitude.
Right.
There was a scene that comes just before that, when we were shooting in the Hobbit, where I meet Tom Wilkinson, who plays Joe Kennedy.
Joe Kennedy, yeah.
And
I wish you
he comes into the room, and you know, he comes into where I'm eating in my little restaurant thing, and he comes in, and I'm looking, I'm saying, hey, it's Tom Wilkinson, you know, like full Monty, you know, do I stand? No, you don't stand, I said, he's coming to see me for a favor.
Yeah, you're the power in this scene.
What do you want? And that established the whole character. So like, what do you want? What do you want from me?
What do you make of course, there's been tons of controversy about the Kennedys because broadcasters in the U.S. didn't want to air it because the American royalty
it's not
scenario.
a question that they didn't want to air it, and there's been that twist saying they didn't want to air it. It's just that the History Channel pulled out like midway through January, and they had a set air date of the 3rd of April. And it's sort of like, well, there's a little window there. Who wants to take it? And people are saying, nobody said they didn't like it. They were just saying, how are we going to squeeze in 8 hours into our schedule? We've already had a schedule.
Big commitment.
So a lot of people just went like, we like it, but we can't squeeze it in.
But 8 hours is what you need to give justice to the story, too. I mean, that's the other side of it. I mean, there's so many elements and so many parts that go into telling the story and the motivation of the Kennedys and everything else. Like, it does need that 8 hours to do.
I think they could probably use an extra 8 hours. Easily,
how much fun do you have? I mean, you know, when people look at your resume and the characters that you've had the opportunity to sort of do, you know, you get some character guys, you know, which I would think would be really fascinating to play, you know, sort of that Fifth Element style, the guys that are the motivation to move things along.
Well, yeah, I'm a character actor, so of course you're just, you know, you're moving the story along. And you have to understand it. But yeah, you do get quite a, what do you call it? Just a selection of guys, from, you know, cowboys to military guys to politicians to cops to, you know, mafia guys. So it's it's a lot of fun.
Get to play both sides of the fence. Right? The good guy.
Well, I sort of consider that my job is to take a two-dimensional thing, basically a script, and to add a third dimension to it, to bring it to life, and if possible, maybe even a fourth dimension.
Figure that one out, people.
Trying to bring feeling, you know.
Yeah.
People can look and either sort of go like, "Oh my God," you know, like this. I don't know, I'm scared of this guy, or you know, maybe a little bit of sympathy. I mean, last year I did a film with Vancouver's own Seth Rogen.
That's coming out soon.
It's coming out in September.
Yeah.
And I play Angelica Houston's husband, and I play Joseph Gordon-Levitt's father, and I'm an Alzheimer's patient. And that's sort of like, you know, that's pretty far from Sam Giancana.
A little bit.
No kidding.
And there's really a beautiful scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and that between father and son, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So it's really kind of neat being a character actor because you're just playing all these polar opposites.
It's the art, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Serge. The Kennedys airs on the History Channel, of course. You can check it out 9 o'clock on Sundays, but they are repeating it. If you missed the opener,
go back and start.
Set your PVR because it is a great miniseries.
You go see it, eh? You better go see it.